I'm trying to not make it as much as like a catchphrase on my channel. That I've most been experimenting with like some new videos that I've been at least doing, and they've been nice as far as I know. But I have been missing kind of like the days where I can very much just like make a video about like some random thing that I found, did like a whole bit of, like a kind of a deep dive into looking into it. Because those were the videos I really do tend to enjoy a lot, because it's something very much so almost like unexpected and so weirdly that it just made me kind of happy that at least I found them and that no one else was talking about it. And well, I kind of had to bite the bullet on this one, because it came from a Charlie video that I didn't watch when I first saw it, but then I kind of did, but like it didn't exactly had much new stuff into it that I wasn't also looking into. And that would end up having to be probably the dumbest thing that I had to very much look all into and put in the effort in, but I did it because I'll be honest, it just hooked me on. It really just, I took the bait, I was bait, and the hook, I did it. LA's new gambling event is live sperm racing at the Hollywood Palladium, backed over by $1.5 million in funding. If you haven't exactly heard or very much didn't exactly see much of it, or you're a normal person living in a normal world, which honestly good for you, we very much have now reached to the point in society where actual sperm racing can very much be considered a sport. This is really not what evolution and free will has kind of just built up to a certain point where you are willing to do anything and make it happen, and it will happen whether you liked it or not. Now you're probably thinking, who's out here just making this stuff, and like why does it even need to exist in the first place? Well, that is always because that this came from the idea and the man behind this whole thing being Eric Zhu, the CEO of Aviedo and the co-founder of the sperm race. This is the man that is responsible for building this shit brick by brick from this idea alone. Now, Eric Zhu is not the only person that ended up making this whole thing possible. Nick Small, a 16-year-old and is the head of a business management consulting of Stealth, Shane Fan, a chief executive of the NFT pricing platform Waterfall, and Garrett DiConiaco, a former content strategist for MrBeast. There are some members as well, but the majority of the focus and the coverage around this released on these four in specifically. The way they would end up kind of describing how they would end up doing this and how this would end up all being accomplished is getting samples from two healthy young university students on a racetrack that is 20 centimeters, at least 8 inches long, and modeled under the female reproductive system, fully microscoped, with the goal to raise awareness about the male fraternity while having fun doing it, and saying that we want to turn the health into a competition. Sperm is surprising as a biomaker. The healthier you are, the faster the sperm moves. And if you thought I was going to gloss over the other details that we're going to be having onto this, well, you were mistakenly wrong. When they end up getting the two samples, finding that they both have matching biomakers, the samples are then placed into a pipette and injected into a microfluid device in the center of the Palladium with a live video broadcast magnified 40 times to display the 0.5mm spermatozoa so we can all see with our very own eyes. They went as far as to even do the calculations for the sperm and how fast it ended up going, which is 55mm per minute for at least the average sperm, and they're doing this with at least in 3 races entirely, at least for the 2 ones that we'll be getting into soon. They even added other stupid little features that they added in as well, like play-by-play commentary, instant replays, leaderboard, and betting. You can literally bet onto which sperm do you think is going to win the entirety of the race, and you can see it live both on like their YouTube channel and on Kick. Eric Zhu is right when he said that he's taking a topic that no one was very much wanting to very much touch and make it at least interesting, because like him or not, I gotta get handed to him for making it a reality. Like you can hate on it honestly, or you can kind of like it for just the sheer absurdity for the whole thing, but he put his money where his mouth is and made sure that this was an event that had to happen. It needed to happen. He heard the Jeff Goldblum quote of "just because you could doesn't mean you should," and very much ran with like, actually, yeah, I actually can do this. To these young men, they're very much doing it for a cause. At least that's what they believe in. They have pulled up studies, at least from 2022, published by the Human Reproductive Update journal, that male sperm counts have declined more than like 50% in the past of 5 decades. About 7% of adult men experience infertility, with causes including low sperm count and poor sperm mobility and blockages. In approximately 50% of the cases, the cause is unknown. Lifestyle factors such as smoking, alcohol, regular sleep patterns, and maintaining a healthy weight are believed to affect fertility. He and his team very much are aware that this is a very humorous idea when you very much read it aloud and very much see it all the way through, but they very much are seen to be at least dedicated to the cause of wanting to at least talk about the male fertility like decline, or at least to make it to a point where like you aren't exactly uncomfortable talking about this with other men. The sperm race comes against a backdrop of significant scientific concern over the male fertility trends. Between 1973 and 2018, the global average sperm concentration in men dropped them more by 50% to 101 million to 49 million sperm per millimeter. According to multiple studies cited in the Events Manifesto, experts attribute this decline to various factors including sedentary lifestyles, obesity, exposure to endocrine disrupting chemicals, smoking, and environmental pollutants. While awareness campaigns around the female reproductive health have been widespread, male fertility remains a relatively under-addressed subject. By turning into a engaging competitive spectacle, sperm race aims to bridge this gap. Now, if you do remember when I said that you can very much bet onto the sperm race, this is kind of where some people kind of got a little bit concerned. Not as the fact that they were pretty much, 17-year-olds and 16-year-olds very much able to do all this somehow, but the inclusion of having to both kind of have like gambling or just kind of betting in general was kind of just a very odd thing to do, at least in this case for the sperm race. In an interview with TMZ, they said they were partnered with a huge casino, but there will be gambling, at least from what the other articles have been saying, at least through Polymarket, even saying that they want to create their own crypto-based betting platform, with Nick Spall telling the team that he wants to broaden outcomes of viewers which can gamble beyond who will win each race.
Will there be any gambling?
We're not allowed to gamble, even though, I mean, we've turned down a lot
Right
of
answer. Right answer.
Right?
Charles,
there you go.
Stop.
Yeah, I think prediction market is one of these things where actually what was interesting, Polymarket just outbid a lot of our other prediction market kind of contracts. So Polymarket is the people that facilitated the election betting. So we were partners with them. And I think a big part is like we've been offered a lot of money from sponsors that are from casinos or a bunch of adult things, right? And they offered a lot more money, but we just haven't taken it. Most of our main sponsor is Nucleus, which is a DNA testing company, right? So we kind of want to veer away from the degeneracy and actually turn this into a health thing. So most of our sponsors are actually health. And especially with betting, right? We're not partnering with a massive casino. We're partnering with a prediction market. We're going to give biomarkers and stuff like that on the days leading up to the race.
The reason I'm mentioning all this to begin with is that many are kind of concerned that the ones that are running this event is a complete scam and that all that money that people want to gamble with in the race, they won't actually be able to see it. I understand it, at least especially in this day and age where everything is a scam. Even one of the partners is an NFT CEO for the pricing platform Waterfall. Though the website doesn't exactly seem to exist at all, or at least hasn't came into fruition yet, as most of the things are kind of just saying of the goal of the whole company and the employee numbers that they have. At least it was been told onto the org website, so I'm assuming that it'll only come around to fruition if this whole event is a golden goose egg that they can just continuously make year after year. So now that we have the context for what seems to be the most important event in all of our lives since the moon landing, who are exactly the two people that actually decided to willingly have their sperm compete with one another? That ended up having to be Tristan Welcher from the University of Southern California and Asher Proger from the University of California. These are the kind of the two men that are very much being promoted outright for everything, at least for this event. In fact, there's so much promotion about this that there exists actual official posters being hung around just by randomly somewhere, but it's been spread throughout most of the internet. They had very much an official promo video about this on their YouTube channel. They have the sickest narrative to make it more badass than it sounds. They really go out their way to make the effort to make you feel like you're going to be pumped for this as much as they are. Even showing how most of the other competitors are going to be kind of to do this to make sure that the sperm is not going to be, weak. They're going to be strong. With Tristan showcasing supplements and working out, while Asher is eating raw meat and working out. But this goes even farther. Remember I said that it was being backed by $1.5 million in funding? Well, there's a name behind that, and the name is James Parlow, who in part with Figment Capital, which is a Web3 infrastructure investment fund, was the reason this race was funded to begin with, and saw the concept, called his bank and was like, yeah, I see the vision, and decided to just let's see exactly where it could all go. He wanted to see this concept go on and to expand to other sports to impact on betting odds. Some tweets I also found were released reported by TMZ, but the tweets I'm more inclined than showing that are kind of this one with the user of Roy Lee and Eric Zhu with the caption of the future of technology, showing a banner that are going to at least be seen by people entering the stadium, and one from Eric Zhu that very much says that they're not going to try and like launch a coin. It's also pretty much funnier when various people are trying to tell him to use the scales for anything else. He just links them the manifesto of why they're going to be doing all of this. Which has led me to the part where I had to make a noble sacrifice for everybody's sanity, and that was that I had to spend an entire Friday night having to go over and wait and watch the live stream of the actual sperm race. Yeah, I went the fucking mile. Be thankful I did this. I originally wanted to do a kind of a reaction, kind of doing all this thing when it was kind of live. Well, not a live stream, but more just like an actual live reaction to the whole thing when it was going on. But I had some other complications come up, so I did end up retrieving some actual footage from the whole thing that I very much do kind of want to talk about. We saw like all things coming from those surveys with the countdown finally over and literally being edged by the screen for God knows how long, until we finally get to actually see something else. And we immediately come to the issues of the audio because it is beyond fucked. They have like two interviewers asking questions for the audience, but either that most of the interviews don't know exactly how to hold much of the actual mic, or that the music is so loud you can barely hear anything.
Do I need to let
That's fucked up. You fucked up your own friend for this.
Sorry,
You Jimmy
I don't think it's
for
an officially sports sanctioned.
So you choose
I'll
Noah
cue them,
over
let them
Jimmy.
know we're about to cut to that.
Let who know? Well, that was all satire.
Whoever, like,
There you go,
Ryan.
guys. Noah's hot.
You know
Confirmed.
what needs to
By
happen is
another
you
man.
need to tell me who needs to be on camera, and
Copy.
then I
You
tell
want
the
to wear my
camera.
razors today?
It's on you. It's on
I ain't
you.
gonna lie, I didn't shave, so I can't.
They've got some.
All right, let's cut to 6.
All right, guys. Who's next?
They have two interviewers, which are kind of like the two like hosts of this whole thing, and they're not exactly doing exactly a bunch of a good job with it because we come to like immediate audio issues for the most part. The music is almost way too loud to hear anybody. You can even hear the guy trying to coordinate all of it, and most of them are just not exactly bad at handling the mic. And I'm gonna be honest, those interviewers, being Nina and Rhino, they were really bad in this whole event, and I really just like they were just a slog just having to go through because either half of them didn't exactly try enough, or that they were trying way too hard to make it feel like this event is most hyped in any way, shape, or form. Hell, half the time most of them they kind of end up asking a lot more weirder questions towards most of the audience members than even the audience members, which most of them are a little bit weird, at least to begin with.
Viewers?
Yeah, so, no. It doesn't taste like curry.
Okay, you heard it from the Indian guy. What's up? Yes, Queen Sperms. How are you?
Good. I'm dressed up for the occasion.
So you are dressed all white, I see.
Yep, yeah, for the sperm.
Cool. So are you trying to be a sperm?
I was at one point, you know, we all were, and we won.
Can you tell me anything of what's going on? And how are you guys related? Sisters?
Yeah, we're sisters.
What do you got here in this necklace?
Beaded dicks.
Did you say beaded dicks? I don't know if the camera can get that.
But in a plot twist that came out of nowhere, like legitimately, I didn't actually expect this. Two other Razors end up deciding to join in the fray, that being of Jimmy Zhang and Noah Boat. They very much did an intro for at least all 4 of the fighters, but I consider this part of the whole thing to be a complete utter waste of time because it takes almost forever for anybody to actually do a proper intro. Since the guy is very much almost so bad at trying to do the actual audio quality and to get everything to be synced up to the extent, it just feels like everything is kind of stuck in an awkward space. In fact, it was so bad that Noah Boat didn't even arrive to his intro till like 30 minutes afterwards, after the DJ had tried to play for it to summon him twice.
Please welcome Noah Boat!
Let's go, Noah.
They're ripping the curtain.
Bitch, I'm about to bust. Off the boat, get your bitch off the bus. Running shit your own betters, cause I hit like a bus. Can't think of a nigga or a bitch that I trust. Damn, bitch, I'm about to bust. Serve game, getting cash, you, I'm about to go nuts. Attorney said he gon' spaz, but that guy not that tough. Shawty said I'd bust. Can't think of a nigga or a bitch that I trust. Damn, bitch, I'm about to bust. Serve game, getting cash, you, I'm about to go nuts. Attorney said he gon' spaz, but that guy not that tough. Shawty said I'd
They got a SoundCloud rapper.
Cause bitch, I'm about to bust.
I'm mean it when I say that this was such a slog to have it to even endure, because everything is such a big fucking waste of time. I don't care exactly what the fighters kind of go for, I just want to see the actual sperm, which is a brand new sentence I just came up with. After these slogs of the intros, all the fighters end up doing their weigh-ins, they end up having questions from the doctor, some of them do their awful WWE roleplay.
Oh my god.
This guy has sperm on his face already, bruh.
Oh, that's funny. You got some on yours?
Hey, back up.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Wait, hold on, I wanna see! Wait, I can't see! Wait, hold on, I can't see! Let me see! Hold on, let me see!
And the race finally begins after waiting 2 hours for this shit. The race begins with Jimmy Zhang and Noah Boat, and I gotta say, the sperm race was actually kind of hyped because I'm not sure what exactly Jimmy did within his training regimen to do, but his sperm booked it to the finish line was Usain Bolt. It did not slow down even once. What a way to make a guy feel completely inadequate. Also, they very much had a punishment for it, with resulting of Noah Boat losing the race and having to be Nickelodeon slimed, but the slime is white, and I can't exactly show all that because I'm afraid so, but this whole video should have been a consideration. They also try to promise to see if they can get like a round 2, maybe. I don't honestly see that happening, and I don't care enough about both of them to very much even see one. And after the Ty Dolla $ign halftime show, which I honestly can't even believe that they even got him to be here, or just play his music, remove him for after like 2 minutes of being there. Oh, it's a dude in a penis costume, and that's something I actually have seen before in a bar club once, honestly. We're now finally headed in towards for the main event, Tristan and Asher. 3 rounds, let's fucking get it. The first round I thought was going to be Asher since he got a sudden boost almost matching Tristan, but Tristan won due to Asher slowing down and smelling the roses. The second race, Asher took me by surprise with a hard comeback, beating Tristan very much almost matching. And the last round was a build-up that we all very much wanted to see. And I'll be honest, it was almost neck and neck. It was truly a battle for the ages, but Tristan's lead sperm very much put in the work and won 10k for this guy. And that's the event. Like, I'm gonna be honest, that was literally all there was to it. They very much did it, he won, and they all went home. I had to write all this down live when it was kind of happening, so here's a clip of my face afterwards, very much having to experience the whole thing in the event. Yeah, I still feel that way even after the next day. I'll be honest that this event was probably going to be shitty from the start, which I guess I was kind of at least fully expecting it to be, but never in my life would I say that I had experienced an event like this to such a point where I had to very much dedicate my entire Friday to being there. And that is something that I think I'm kind of at least sort of proud of. Like, I can't exactly say for certain that I was, you know, saying that like this was the best thing that could have ever happened, and honestly I don't think there's gonna be going to be one more of these things ever again, at least for the most part, because really the budget was completely awful on every single side. Like, the sperm race was so fast that like you didn't exactly have time to process most of the actual other stuff that was going on, and everything else that was like before it was a complete fucking drag of everything. Like I actually hated it. It was a bad event, at least for the most part. I'm not sure exactly if like the whole thing with the betting odds and all that, because I'm not actually sure who kind of at least benefited from this, but as far as I know, the event existed. I witnessed it with my very own 2 eyes, and I can confidently say I did something that no one should have ever gone through, but I did because I wanted to make this video possible. And yeah, I saw it, all this whole thing happening, and I just wanted to make a video about it because it really seemed like something up my alley. And yeah, no, that's really all there is to this video, and that's about it. Bye bye.